What is going on, Leo? This is Chris Anthony coming at you guys live and direct, and this is going to be your reading for the full moon in Sagittarius. Now, Leo, I do want to say I apologize because I did not get your beginning of the month reading out. This is why you're at the front of the line when it comes down to these full moon readings. Yes, sorry about that, but I do feel like there was a reason for that for some reason, and I think the cards are kind of going to display that. I do feel like for Leo, it's kind of like you were in a slumber in a certain sense energetically, and I feel like you guys are now like waking up out of this slumber. I'm seeing this with this judgment card here in the middle, so we're going to hop into your reading and see where you guys are going to be at energetically for the rest of the month. And yeah, that'll tell us more details, but just wanted to throw that out there. Sorry about that, Leo. Now, this is going to be a general reading, and it may not resonate with everyone, but if it does resonate with you, do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those things to help the channel out and let me know that the readings help you in some type of way. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can always check your rising or your moon sign. And I get a lot of questions about if these readings can be applied to the rising or moon sign or Venus sign, and the answer is yes. This can be applied to any of your placements in Leo. All right, Leo, so let's do it. Also, excuse my throat. I've been kind of having a little bit of congestion lately, so I probably sound kind of different on camera. What's next? You guys also check out my IG if you're not already. Follow me on IG. That'll be in the description below. It's chrisanthony14lbs, and if you want any personal readings, that is open to the public, so that information will also be in the description of the video. Let's go, Leo. All right, so starting off, we have the Knight of Wands, and it's clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. So Knight of Wands energy, I feel like this is the release that's happening. Like I said, I feel like in a certain sense you guys were kind of like in the slumber for the beginning of the month, beginning of June. But the first, the new moon that happened at the beginning of the month was in Scorpio, and I feel like that Scorpio energy released a lot of things. It was kind of like an energetic release of things that kind of had been being held up a little bit. But I feel like for you Leos, you were still kind of like sleep to that fact. Even though you had a lot on your mind that you wanted to kind of like accomplish, or a lot that you were waiting on to come into you, I feel like there was a certain sense of like sleep that you had to kind of do just to rest up, to reboot, to recalibrate, right? But now, mid-month, coming in with this full moon energy in Sagittarius is kind of like full speed ahead. That fiery energy that matches your energy, since you're a fire sign, is kind of like reconnecting with your passion. Is kind of like waking you up, right? So Knight of Wands energy is like moving full speed ahead with your passion, right? With your project, with your business, with your work, whatever it is that you're focusing on at this moment in time. And with it being clarified by the Eight of Pentacles, this does have to do with your work, with something that you're trying to build, right? With something you want to focus all of your energy and your attention on, and you're heading in that direction in laser focus, right? So I feel like you guys are definitely wanting to build something that's going to bring you longevity, right? That this is just not anything that's being built just for no reason. This is something that does have to do with your path, does have to do with your life's purpose, your life's work, right? And now I feel like you are focusing in on it like never before. You're getting this laser beam focus, right? Now, some of you guys could have a fire sign coming in your direction with the Knight of Wands, and wanting to kind of come together and collaborate with you and work with you and build something together, whether this is a partnership or a romantic relationship. Some of you guys could have a fire sign that is kind of like being awakened and coming in your direction, like, okay, now I get it. Now I want to build with you. Now I want to work with you. And this could possibly catch you off guard in some type of way, because they could be coming in at speeds that they never moved before, right, Leo? But if this doesn't have to do with you romantically, I feel like this is definitely your energy. You're wanting to move forward. And the Knight of Wands is one of the quickest moving knights. He's not faster than the Knight of Swords, but he is very passionate in his pursuit. So he definitely goes rushing in fearlessly, courageously, right? And this is the energy that you're taking towards what it is that you want to build for your future. Now, right under that, we have Major Arcana card. And by the way, you guys have a lot of major arcanas here. So that's showing me that there is kind of like an energetic shift that's happening with you planetary-wise and universally, right? The universal energies are working behind the scenes anytime you have a lot of major arcanas, right? So it doesn't have so much to do with you. It has a lot to do with the shifts that's happening around you, right? And you just kind of picking up on that and feeling that energy and those energy downloads and running with it. So Judgment card, excuse me. This is what I was talking about with this awakening that's happening. This slumber that you guys have been in energetically was for your recalibration, right? For you to move into this next phase of life. And I know a lot of times us readers, a lot of times talk about shifts and next phases and new cycles beginning and all this, right? It could kind of get repetitive. But the honest truth about it is that things are always changing. Cycles are always beginning and ending. And it's good for us to know where we are energetically for this newer cycle. Because to be honest, every time the moon cycles, right, happen, whether it's the full moon or the new moon cycle, there is new energy, there is new downloads happening, there is new perspectives and insights that you can kind of take with you moving forward to see, you know, what direction you want to head in. And this is what the tarot is useful for. So with you guys, I do feel like there was a spiritual awakening that's going to be happening around this Sagittarius full moon, right? And it does have a major effect on your will, your drive, your passionate pursuits, what it is that you want to build, and your focus, right? Because if you were in this kind of slumbering state, you could have kind of slowed down a little bit with what it is that you're trying to build. You could have slowed down with your discipline, with your consistency. And it's not for lack of drive, right? A lot of times this happens, like I said, when we need to just recalibrate and reposition ourselves, because there are a lot of adjustments that need to be made along the way of us building and reaching our goals and, you know, trying to get to our destination. So I feel like this is where you guys have been in, the place you've been in, and now there's kind of like a spiritual awakening, a renewal that comes in. It's kind of like saying, okay, now it's time for you to move forward. Now it's time for you to get back on your post. Now it's time for you to awaken to the next level of what your work is. You know, it's time for you to become more conscious and aware of your path and why you're walking on this path and who you are and what type of work you do specifically, right? Your purpose. This is tied into all of that. Excuse me. So, it's clarified by the King of Wands energy, and this is definitely your energy, Leo, right? This King of Wands, strong, passionate king, right? That goes after everything that he wants, and he can't be stopped when it comes down to something that he sets his eyes on. He's very passionate, determined, very consistent, right? Very proactive too. This king kind of handles things before it's too late. He kind of gets ahead of the traffic, right? Gets ahead of the pack. And this is kind of the energy that you're kind of starting to move in. This is why I feel like you guys are first right now. When I first started off this reading and I looked at your cards, I kind of heard that saying like the first shall be last and the last shall be first. I feel like in a certain sense, you guys were pushed to the back of the line with the new energy that was coming in with the Scorpio new moon, right? But now it feels like you guys, the tables are turning and you're getting pushed to the front of the line. And you're getting that certain sense that I need to go at things proactively instead of being in a more reactive mode. Instead of responding to certain things, I need to be going after things proactively, making things happen. Right? And this is what the King of Wands does. He creates his opportunities. He creates, right, the success that surrounds him by proactively chasing things down, proactively making things happen. Right? And this does have to do a lot with the law of attraction. Sometimes we attract from the more feminine aspect of being more receptive and being more laid back and attracting things to us, right? And then in a certain sense, the both the feminine and masculine aspects of attraction have to do with action, is what I've been learning lately. But there's a difference of the action that takes place. With this more masculine energy in the King of Wands, what you're doing is proactively making something happen and then having the response come back to you, right? So you're making the first move, you're taking the first jump, you're making that leap, you're, making the waves and rocking the boat. And then you attract certain things back to you that way, kind of like an echo, right? But you're being the fire starter in this certain situation. And I do feel like it is surrounding your work. It's surrounding what you do as a light worker or what you do just as an individual in this reality. What it is that you're known for, what it is that your soul feels like it is its mission, right? So you're sounding off. And I believe that's because in a certain sense there's been a sounding off, within your soul level, within your energy. The universe kind of has put the alarm clock on, like, okay, let's go. Now it's time to wake up. Now it's time to rise from out of your sleep. Now it's time for you to go into your spiritual path, into your spiritual work, right? More into your purpose. And so with that, you do get a bird's eye view. You do get that focus that goes into your path, right? So that you're not looking at 4 or 5 different things. You have a laser focus on one area of focus. And that makes you start to be more proactive with building this. So let's keep it moving. Then we have the Magician card, right? Another major arcana card talking about that law of attraction energy. Is talking about duality, talking about as above, so below, as within, so without, right? So you're definitely given all of the gifts, the talents, abilities that you have working within you, and they're being used, at your disposal. So this talks about a certain level of mastery that you have accomplished, right, within your being. You're able to use your emotions, your thoughts, right, your will and passion, the pinnacle energy, your level of groundedness and stability. You're able to use everything at your disposal to attract what it is that you want to attract. This is the Magician energy, right? The Magician kind of like sets up his stage. He sets up his act in order to make his audience perceive certain things, right? The Magician is a master at perception, right? He understands that perception is reality. So how you position certain things, it creates a certain reality. Even if, let's say inside of the area of sales, for instance, a lot of times the salesman will position a product in a certain type of way so that the customer will have a certain perception about that product. If somebody just came to you and they had a product and they said, hey, you should buy this, and then they say, where's your credit card? You should pay for this right now. Get this product. I mean, I'm sure you're probably going to be like, well, why should I buy? Like, why? What am I going to do that for, right? So the salesman or the magician, right, doesn't come and sell you a product, doesn't come and sell you an idea in that manner. What they do first is build value in the product. What they do first is position the product. They find out what your needs are. They find out what you like to do. They find out information about you first, and then they build value in this product from your point of view. And they'll tell you this product will go well with what you want to do with your life. This product will match your lifestyle. If you have kids, you'll be able to do this with your kids. If you drive, you'll be able to use this product in your car. If you like to take trips, you'll be able to travel with this product. They'll build value on it. And then after that, they'll say, now, this will be, $35. Are you gonna pay cash or card? And then by that point, you understand it. So you're like, okay, now I can make a decision because they answer your why. This is kind of what's happening with you, Leo. I went on that whole tangent to say energetically, this is kind of what's happening with you. You're finding certain ways to position your ideas, to position your product, position yourself, right? Even energetically. And you're getting new perspectives in order to convey certain messages to the world or your audience. If some of you guys have an audience or a following or have a business or some type of spiritual work, right? You're understanding the value in positioning yourself, right? And how people view the world, how people view reality. Every time I see this magician card, I think of the entrepreneur, I think of the business owner, I think of the person that is a creator, right? And when you get to a certain level of creation and putting certain messages out or putting a product out, you start to understand the collective thought of the masses, right? You start to understand how most people have groupthink, and most people kind of like follow the trends, right? And so business owners or large corporations, what they do is take advantage of this kind of collective mind that the world has, right? And how people are triggered in certain ways by certain symbols, and how people are attracted to certain things that is within every human mind, because it's built into the human psyche, right? And I feel like some of you Leos are kind of getting in this type of mode where you're seeing where you can capitalize on certain mindsets that people have, right? Not in a manipulative way. Manipulative. Did I say that right? Manipulative? Yeah. Not to manipulate people, but just seeing how you can capitalize on the way you position things, right? Because I do see a leverage that's happening with this magician card. You're getting a certain sense of leverage, right? You're getting a certain sense of information that's coming into you with this new full moon in Sagittarius, and it's showing you how to leverage yourself, right? Because leverage is what creates almost like the ability for us to do something without having to break our backs. It's almost like that saying, right? Work smart, not hard. You're understanding how to work smart and not hard by the way you position yourself, right? Leverage is all about positioning. In order to know how to position something, you also have to have a certain perspective in order to see something in a different way. So once you change your perspective and you look at something from a different vantage point, you then can have leverage over someone else. And this is what's happening in your life in some type of way, Leo. I do feel like it's surrounding what you do for work. Now, then you have the Empress card, clarifying the magician. We just now made it to the clarifier. So I'm feeling that magician energy definitely with you guys. Some of you guys are going to be just almost pulling the wool off of your eyes. And this is creating an advantage for you with people who still have the wool pulled over their eyes, right? And like I said, it's not in a way of manipulation. It's just that a lot of people who get in, let's say, a place of leadership or a place of being able to sell or position, be an entrepreneur to the masses, they have a certain understandings about the nature of reality and how people perceive the world. And this is why they seize the opportunities to start presenting certain things to the world, because they see what other people are doing. And a lot of corporations and major businesses that are out here, they've been doing it for years and years by marketing and selling products to the world on certain principles, right? And what they do is connect to our primal nature as human beings, and they feed into that, right? And we're kind of attracted to these certain ideas. And this is what's being revealed to you, Leo. Some of you guys may have been studying marketing or studying business, studying the law of attraction. There are certain universal laws out there, and then there's also other universal principles that put you in a position of leverage that a lot of authors have kind of wrote about in a lot of different books. A lot of successful men and women have realized these certain rules and principles, and they put them to work in their life every day, and then it gives them leverage. And certain people that look from the sideline that don't know these rules and kind of like don't understand these cheat codes, they wonder how these successful people get ahead. They wonder, like, how is this person this successful and living this type of life, and they don't have to work a 9-to-5 job, and they don't have to be living paycheck to paycheck and blah blah blah, right? And I feel like for a certain time, some of you Leos have even been in that place, but you have been in a place where you've been paying your dues with this Eight of Pentacles. It doesn't talk about the beginning of a project or the beginning of work and labor and focus and discipline and consistency. It talks about an ongoing continuation of this type of work. So I feel like you've come to a place where you have mastered a certain sense of yourself and you've paid your dues, you've earned your stripes. And so now you're getting a certain sense of leverage among your peers that you're going to use to create something in your life. Right? Create abundance. The Empress card here talks about abundance, creativity, artistic, spirituality, right? This side of you, fertility, attracting this abundance into your life with what it is that you're able to create, with the leverage that you're able to give yourself, right? So you're realizing a lot, Leo. Definitely, you're getting new perspectives, a higher level of consciousness. You're becoming aware of certain things that you didn't see before. And it's almost like you had blinders on, right? Because you were in a certain level of judgment, not judgment. You were in a certain level of darkness with this Judgment card. And this darkness had more so to do with your development. You know, a lot of times we have to go into a slumber in order to develop, in order to recalibrate, in order to recover, right? And this is where I feel like you've been in. Every time we go to sleep every day, our body goes into a place of recovery, rejuvenation, right? So that it could come back fresh the next morning, come back fresh the next day. And also your subconscious mind goes into a certain cycle of rejuvenation and recalibration every time you sleep. And so in a sense, this is where you have been in with this certain cycle. You were in a slumber, Leo, so that now when you awaken, you have a new, fresh set of eyes. You have a new view, a new vantage point, a new perspective on your direction and how you're going to carry out your blueprint, how you're going to focus on your path. And this is the information that was given to you with this Four of Swords. You see how he's been in a more meditative state. So this rest that you've been getting, this slumber that you've been in, has been for a reason. Not just to sleep, right? Not just to be in darkness, just to be in darkness. But you were in a point of development, right? And you could have even been in a place where you were pulling your energy back with the Four of Pentacles. Been in a place where you kind of did not want to share your energy. You didn't want to be out and about. You didn't want to be social. You were definitely closed off. And not, wanting to be around a lot of people because you were rejuvenating. But now you are coming back out and you have a new sense of purpose, a new sense of intelligence also of how you're going to be presenting what it is that you have to present. It's kind of like your show is coming now. You've been in preparation for delivering this whole act, right? This whole magic show. And you needed to master certain things to pull it off. And now you're here. So you're going to be presenting something to the world in a certain sense. And it's going to be all about how you present it, how you position it, to make it believable enough, right? To make people buy into it. Yeah, so let's keep it moving. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles once again with the King of Cups. So you're here again working on this thing that you're building for yourself. You're putting your focus and your attention into your work. Like I said, whether it's your job or your business or your craft, your creation, your purpose, whatever it is, you are building, building, building. And I think it's because you have gotten a new perspective. So now you're like, oh, wow, light bulb on, idea comes, you start to get to work, get to work, get to work, right? Also, you have this King of Cups energy about it. So you're definitely in a place of levity, right? You're in a place of balancing your emotions, right? The King of Cups is a master at being a balance at his emotions and not kind of wearing his heart on his sleeve, right? You're in a place of not showing your cards off. You're kind of keeping your cards to your chest because you know that you have a certain amount of leverage. So it's all about the way you position this work. It's all about the way that, you know, you're keeping things under wraps and things to yourself and building in the background. Why people feel like there's nothing going on with Leo. You know, some people could be sleeping on you in a certain sense. But you have been in development and you have been working on yourself and working on your craft, you know, or what it is that you're building. Right? And your place of kind of like emotional maturity has been helping you out with this also. You've been using your emotions to your advantage. You've been using your emotional intelligence to build this thing that it is that you're building. Right? Because the King of Cups has a high level of emotional intelligence. And so he kind of keeps his emotions to himself in a certain type of way. He, like I said, keeps his cards close to his chest. Because he knows like what's happening within himself enough to not be like everywhere with his emotions or not be up and down. And so you're at this place of balance so that you can build more efficiently. Let's go into your future energy. Leo, we have the Fool, we have the Page of Wands, we have the Justice card, then we have the Queen of Swords. Now with the Fool energy, like I said, you're taking a certain leap because you've had this awakening, right? You're coming out of your slumber. You're coming out of another state of awareness into a new one. So this talks about you taking the risk, taking the leap in this new direction or with this new idea, right? And you're doing it with the the Queen of Cups energy, right? Now she is a master manifester. She attracts a lot to her, right? So you're not only moving in that King of Wands energy, the King of Cups energy, but you're also moving in the Queen of Cups energy, right? So I see a lot of duality and balance happening with your energy. You're attacking things from all sides, right? You're definitely tactical with what it is that you're moving forward in, right? You're like a tactician. You know the points to hit things at. You know the buttons to press. You know the moves to make. You've been studying this thing. Right? So at some points you're moving in the masculine energy. And some points you're moving in the feminine energy. Right? You're using all things to your advantage. That's what the magician is the master at doing. Using all points of view and not just one point of view. Not just being in the masculine energy, but moving over to the feminine energy too, and then learning how to integrate both of those energy into one. Because in all reality, there is no duality, even though this reality is one of duality. It's only to teach you that everything is one, right? So you are integrating both energies, masculine and feminine, light and dark, higher self and lower self, above and below, inner and outer. You're bringing it all into one. And this is pushing you to take that leap because now you have a higher level of confidence in yourself to be able to take some risk. Right? Page of Wands talks about a new beginning. Now, this definitely could be a new beginning in love. And if this is a love reading for you, you have a lot of players on the table. Right? You have the Queen of Cups, a water sign. You have the King of Cups, another water sign that's more masculine, right? You also had the King of Wands, which is a fire sign. So you could be dealing with fire or water signs, is what I'm picking up. It also could be an earth sign. But for some of you guys, maybe going to the end of the month, since this is your future energy, you are attracting a certain amount of love. You could be attracting a soulmate, right? You could be attracting a divine counterpart into your life. This is somebody that's definitely mirroring your energy, and you could be wanting to have a new, fresh beginning with someone. Like I said, there could be a fire sign coming your way, or just someone in general that is passionate about wanting to build something with you. And this definitely could be a fire sign or water sign, you know, that you're thinking about building something together with. With this lover's energy here, there is love here. And then under the deck for you guys, we do have the Two of Cups. So Two of Cups talks about a soulmate connection. So there could be definitely a soulmate connection that's happening with a fire or water sign or earth sign. And you're feeling like passionate about it. You kind of want to head in that direction of this person. And you guys could definitely be having a magnetic pull that's bringing you two together. That's kind of irresistible towards the end of the month. And you could just be being awakened to it, or this person could just be being awakened to it. Because there is a lot of awakenings that's happening in the month of June, especially around this full moon in Sagittarius. There's also eclipse energy around the end of June, where certain things are being closed out and newer things are being opened up. So there could be a connection coming in with you that you're either attracting and manifesting in your life, or you could have someone else manifesting you into their life. Then we have the Justice card, clarified by the Tower card. So this is talking about a level of balance that's coming into your world, right? This talks about karmic retribution, things being paid back, things being balanced out that was out of balance. And this does talk about a certain cycle that's going to be closed out towards the end of June. This also talks about certain timelines that are collapsing in your world that no longer serve you, certain people that no longer serve you, and things are just being cut off. With this Justice card, it can also talk about things being cut out of your life, cut out of your world, right? Either you're doing this for yourself or it's just happening universally. I do feel like it's happening universally, because the Tower card talks about things that fall apart around us and we have no control over it, right? So a certain timeline is collapsing and a new cycle is coming in for you, and you're heading in a new direction, taking a leap towards someone or taking a leap towards something. For a lot of you guys, it's both, right? You're working on your business, or you're working on your thing that you're building for yourself, and you're also attracting love at the same time. And so a lot of older energy is being done away with. Some of you guys could be doing away with an older connection with someone and allowing a newer one to come in, is what I'm kind of picking up too. So then at the end of your reading, we have the Queen of Swords and King of Swords energy that wanted to pop out together, and it's clarified by the Knight of Wands. So this is that duality that I was talking about. I think you have a real level of one of integration. So I feel like you're integrating, you know, kind of like your left brain and right brain, your subconscious and conscious mind into one. And it's giving you this newer level of perspective. Once again, Queen of Wands, King of Swords. I mean, Queen of Swords and King of Swords talks about communication. It talks about logic and being rational and being grounded and being realistic and seeing things for what they are and not being blinded by the smoke, right? Cutting through all of the different clouds that kind of mask certain things, cutting through the smoke and mirrors. And this is kind of where you're at. This is where you need to be the magician, right? Because the magician can see behind the veil, which is why he's able to do certain things that people are kind of like, how did you do that? Wait a minute. Magicians kind of like defy what we believe to be reality, right? What we believe to be real or not. And they make us, you know, almost question reality. Like, what? How is that even possible? And this is kind of like the information that's coming into you is being shared with you, and you're cutting through that illusion, right? The ancients believed that everything that we see was the Maya, or the illusion, right? And that it wasn't actually the true reality or nature of reality. What we see with our eyes, it is the illusion that we see. And when you understand that what you're viewing is the illusion, then you're able to kind of like work from outside the illusion and be in the world but not of it. You know, it's kind of like what they were alluding to in those biblical scriptures. It's us being able to see reality for what it is, and then being able to operate from out of it but in it at the same time. And this is the leverage that you're understanding about yourself and how to move forward. So you're moving forward with this information very swiftly and quickly with the Knight of Wands, and it's into something that you want to build, with you having the Eight of Pentacles twice. So we're going to wrap up that reading right there for you, Leo. Good luck with this new thing that you're building, or that you're continuing to build on and focus on, because you have some great energies coming in. All right, so yeah, if you definitely resonate with that, then like, share, subscribe, comment on the video, and let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next reading.